Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Ryan, aka Lethal Llama. There's been a lot of talk recently about virtual reality gaming. The Oculus Rift comes out next week, the Vive a week after, and the PSVR in the fall. And while I haven't had the chance to actually try out these machines, that hasn't stopped me from getting super excited for all the possibilities that VR creates. I've been keeping an eye on a bunch of the announced games so far, and a lot look really cool. But one was announced recently that took me by surprise. And despite it not being a crazy first-person action adventure, space flight simulator, or large open-world experience, it's definitely the one I'm most excited for, by a long shot. The game is Ubisoft's Werewolves Within, a VR social deduction party game. It's a video game version of popular social games like Werewolf or Mafia, which some of you may already be familiar with. The setup is simple. Anywhere from 5 to 8 players sit around a virtual fire, and, depending on their team, Team Townsfolk or Team Werewolf, try to achieve different goals.
Appease the mob, and you may just survive.
There are hidden werewolves among the townspeople, and the townsfolk want nothing more than to find out who they are and get rid of them. The werewolves, on the other hand, want to remain hidden, and have to lie to place the suspicion elsewhere. Each round lasts 5 minutes, where players can talk, discuss, argue, debate, and throw suspicion on who they think the wolves are. At the end of each round, players vote for who they think is the culprit, and that person is killed.
Magic!
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Oh, we.
No!
To add some complexity, townsfolk are randomly assigned a role with certain helpful abilities. The tracker, for example, can lean left or right and hear growling, indicating which side of them a wolf is on.
I'm leaning over the fire, I'm leaning over to the right, and I've got some funky dog sounds, because I'm the tracker, which means the wolf is to my right.
Or the watcher, who can learn 2 possible roles of another player, one being true and the other being false. The fun as a townsfolk is trying to find out who's lying using not only your ability, but those of your teammates. After all, the game's designed in a way where no one person can figure out the truth by themselves. But it gets tricky when everyone you talk to could be a werewolf with devious intentions. And the fun of Team Werewolf is deceiving your fellow players into sentencing the wrong person to death.
I proved last game I'm willing to tell the truth all the time.
You proved last game you were a wolf.
That was a different game.
To further mix things up, there are non-wolf players that are also working against the townsfolk. The Turncloak knows the identity of the werewolves, but only wins if the werewolves survive. And the Deviant only wins if players vote for their execution at the end of the round.
Really? Yeah!
That's a win
Nailed
for
it.
the deviant.
Oh, yeah.
The result is a game of betrayal, chaos, and hilarity. It's fun trying to imagine all the possible scenarios that may arise. Like in this clip from IGN, where 2 people claim to be the same role.
To my
Mitch,
right.
Mitch, I got a question.
What if it's Marty and Brian?
Why are you lying about being the tracker? Because I'm the tracker.
Oh.
Interesting situations like this are going to happen all the time. People lying about who they are to achieve their personal goal. It's going to be as fun to find out who's lying as it is to be the liar yourself. An interesting aspect of the game is being able to mark another player as suspicious, which puts a mark above their head that everyone can see but that player.
I marked Brian as a wolf because I don't trust him.
I'm doing the same for Marty because he's a bad man and a terrible friend.
It's a great tool for non-verbally signaling your suspicions, as well as a distraction if you want to make someone else look more like the culprit than you. There are also some VR-specific gestures you can do, in addition to the obvious moving your head to move your avatar's head. One of my favorites is leaning over to the person next to you to whisper in secret. Not only does it look hilarious when 2 players are having a chat, it can be a big advantage if 2 players can talk together without others finding out what they're saying. Players can also stand up to silence all their players for 10 seconds, giving them the chance to defend themselves, make a point, or throw suspicion on others without any crosstalk.
What is it?
As long as we know it's not me,
Wait,
then I'm good.
Well, no one's playing.
Wait. So what if one of them's what do you call it? Turncloak. I mean,
Why
it
would they
might
lie?
be, but what?
Players can point towards others in an accusatory manner, swipe their arms to their side, shake their heads, cross their arms, or point 2 thumbs toward themselves, among other gestures.
No, I'm cool. I got nothing to do with any of this.
While these often have comedic effects, they also add to the feeling that you're actually sitting across a campfire with your friends, each with their own personalities and quirks shining through in how their avatar moves and speaks. It's a tabletop board game in a virtual space, one where your own avatar, whether they be a grumpy old man or a young damsel, pantomime your movements and facial expressions. And that's the coolest part of the game, for me at least. You are literally just sitting around a fire and talking to other people. And that's why this game drew me in. I mean, look at how this guy tries to imply that the player next to him is lying, with a humorous head point.
What if one of them's what do you call it? Turncloak. I mean,
Why
it
would they
might
lie?
be, but what?
and how this player uses his 10 seconds of silence to shake his head disapprovingly.
Usually I like to use it just to shut everyone up, and I'll cross my arms, standing up silently, and just shake my head in disapproval.
Or how this guy points to all of his possible suspects as he names them.
I see that Max is a possible werewolf, I see that Alana is a possible werewolf, and I see that Marty is a possible werewolf.
To me, that's insanely cool. And people may ask why you would play this when you can just play with your friends in person. Well, it's not always that simple. Werewolves Within is great for people whose friends are out of state or not within traveling distance. Being in a long-distance relationship myself, I can't wait to sit down with my maybe-a-werewolf girlfriend and joke around in a virtual setting. And even if your friends are close by, imagine that all you need to do to hang out and goof off with them was to pop on your VR headset and load up this game. Despite its relatively simple nature, Werewolves Within embodies what excites me most about the future of VR. When you think of VR, the first thing that comes to mind probably isn't social or party games. I think of solitary experiences, ones where you can get lost in your own world with no other distractions. And believe me, I'm really excited for those games too. But this game shows off a side to VR I'd never considered. Werewolves Within won't sell VR machines, I'm sure. It won't be the killer app or the game that draws in thousands of on-the-fence customers. But it will be a game that will be a blast for all who play it. People who want to connect with others in a way they couldn't before. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Ryan, aka Lethal Llama, and I'll see you next time.
The discussion is over. It is time to vote.
All right, who?
Alana, unless you can make a case, I voted for you.